mandatory for you.
Then what is this thing I'm wearing today?
That's
this thing? Yeah.
That's what prevents you from prevents your clothes from becoming dirty.
Okay.
And it's also an inform that when somebody visits a site or a working whatever, he know that this one is a worker of this site.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's more about the digital multimeter.
With this digital multimeter, for example, you can be able to know when you have power, you don't have power, something is faulty, something is not faulty, something is working at the required condition. This thing actually is the major one. With repairs of electronic products. So at some point, it's not Kenya Power who usually switch off that electricity, but it's because of that conditions from the rain, like lightning and wind. For example, those high transmission lines, when they are connected in such a way that they hang at some position, isn't it?
Okay.
So when there is so much storm, so they tend to come together, and when they come together, they touch each other, of which they are not supposed to touch each other. When they touch each other, the fuse that they are connected to, it will blow off, and hence you will experience a blackout. That is one of the reasons. Safety boots will prevent you from any mechanic or any injury. For example, if a block falls on your leg, we have here on the far end here we have a metal part. This metal part is the one that is responsible in case there is a fall, something falls on your leg. This metal part will not allow that thing to touch your toes. And it also prevents you from shock. You can see. It also prevents you from shock. For example, when you stand on a live wire, you will not be affected.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jacob Okello. Welcome to Stan Media. But for today, you can call me Engineer Jacob Okello, because in the studio, he is not just a friend, but he is also an engineer. Welcome to the studio, my guest.
Thank you.
So, kindly give us a brief introduction about yourself.
Okay, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Moses Hamala. I pursue diploma in electrical and electronics engineering, and I'm currently working as an electrical technician at a certain manufacturing industry here in Kenya.
Okay, so about your education, can you tell us maybe the school you attended to, and the number of years that it took you to complete the course?
Okay, I attended Kitale National Polytechnic for a 3-year course period, but due to Corona, during those days, we experienced that pandemic, coronavirus, and I had to go for about 3.5 years.
Okay, I saw Mr. Moses. Electronic engineering is regarded as one of the hardest courses in Kenya. Yeah?
Yes.
What are your views concerning that statement?
My views, I don't think if it's that hardest. That one is almost common in all courses. But what depends is on your ability or your mentality and your focus about it. Electrical generally is just a simple course, as long as you are well focused and you have a good attitude about it. So it's just a simple course. It's not that difficult as people think.
Okay. So apart from electrical and electronic engineering, what other types of engineering courses do our curriculum offer at that level of education?
We have so many engineering courses. Some of them like civil engineering, which majorly focuses on road construction, like and house construction. We have mechanical engineering, which focuses on plant mechanics, and some sorts of things. We also have building and construction technology. That one focuses on construction of major projects like houses, affordable housing, so such kind of things.
So I think these types of engineering courses are offered in Kenya, but why do we see Chinese dominating so much in the type of construction engineering, like our roads? We seem that to embrace more of Chinese technology than our Kenyan. We don't believe in our Kenyan engineers so much. Why do you think there's such a problem?
I think most Kenyan,
Yeah.
they like doing things very fast so that they can get quick money.
Okay.
That is the major problem. But you get with Chinese when when a Chinese starts a project, he'll always make sure that he dedicates the necessary power and energy that is required for that project.
Okay.
That's what brings that difference. Like you find when a Kenyan, for example, when you give a Kenyan a project, like I have given you this house, I want it to be completed in one or 2 years. After 6 months, you will find the house is complete, but it has violated protocols. Has not followed all the required regulation.
Kenyans electricians are also corrupt in a way.
Yes.
So why did you choose electrical and electronic engineering over other types of engineering courses that are available?
I choose electrical engineering because growing up in village, it was very difficult. You understand the challenges that come with those who live in the village. They are not connected to the grid. The national grid system for Kenya Power. So most of the time they find it difficulty to do their daily duties. Like even if you find that studying, it's very difficult because we don't have light, we don't have water, and such kind of things is what motivated me to go and pursue electrical engineering, so that with that knowledge I can come and implement it in my village. For example, I can buy solar system, I can, so that I make our own power, cheap power. Also, this issue of frequent blackout. You find sometimes those who are connected with electricity, they experience very blackout for very long periods. So when I have solar, I have that knowledge of electricity, it is easy that I can convert it and use the same knowledge to generate my own energy using solar system, using wind energy, and all some sort.
So since you have talked about blackouts, and that is actually a major problem that we as a country we are facing currently. Unapata kuna blackouts bila mpango. So can you explain how these blackouts happens? What causes blackouts? And majorly, why is it that when it rains, especially when it rains, kuna kwanga na blackouts?
This one usually happen during rain season. You find that rain come with so many things like storm, wind, lightning. So at some point, it's not Kenya Power who usually switch off that electricity, but it's because of that conditions from the rain, like lightning and wind. For example, those high transmission lines, when they are connected in such a way that they hang at some position, isn't it? So when there is so much storm, so they tend to come together, and when they come together, they touch each other, of which they are not supposed to touch each other. When they touch each other, the fuse that they are connected to, it will blow off, and hence you will experience a blackout. That is one of the reasons. Another reason is there was also a time it happened by it's a monkey who caused that thing.
A monkey?
Yes, a monkey. It caused a national power blackout because monkey happened. They were playing on those wires on top, so they were jumping from this side to this side. They cannot be electrocuted. So long as they don't mix the two wires together. But once they mix them together, you'll see that they'll be electrocuted and the whole system is affected. So during that time, that monkey, by bad luck, the way it was jumping from this side to other side, and it happened to connect the two wires.
So that was a good explanation. So kwa wale wanasemanga ati Kenya Power wameanua stima, I think now they have a good reason. Si kuanua stima, it's because of the weather challenges. So what do you think? You have mentioned about solar system. Do you think solar system can be a solution to this problem?
Yes, solar system can be a solution to some extent.
Wow.
But the major challenge that comes with solar system is that once you have generated solar energy, that one is now the solar energy is converted into electrical energy. You have to store it first in batteries. So for you to have enough power to supply like to the whole country, you'll be required to have so many batteries, and which is very expensive. But solar is the way to go actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you prefer solar than any other?
I prefer solar because solar uses sun to convert electrical energy to convert heat energy into electrical energy. Yeah, so you find that sun is readily available.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's readily available. Although sometimes like currently it's not available, but when you install a solar plant, you will put into consideration all those days like those we call them in electrical engineering days of autonomy.
Days of autonomy.
Yes, those are days that you will experience. You will not experience sun.
Okay.
Like it will be calm throughout the day.
Okay. So back to electrical and electronic engineering. There are so many categories of electrical and electronic engineering.
Yes.
Can you please state to us some of the categories under electrical and electronic engineering?
Okay. Electrical engineering is divided into so many categories, like just to mention but a few. We have telecommunication. That one major with construction and design and construction of telecommunication lines, like things like fiber optic, Wi-Fi, Safaricom. You see, someone who has pursued that course can work in Safaricom, Airtel, Telcom, all those telecommunication companies. We have instrumentation. Those one deal with calibrations of pressure. For example, you have gone to any place and find their compressor. Most of the things that usually take that record those pressure are things that belong to those who have pursued instrumentation. We have power option, of which that one is what I majored on. That one focuses on generation, distribution, and distribution of energy from the power plant to the consumer.
So why did you choose the power option over the other categories?
I choose power option because I was challenged by the very small problem. I visited people and I happened to experience them. Like you find just a socket has blown off. So someone has to go and look for a technician from very far and to pay that person because they are not available. That one motivated me to do that power option, because with power option you can be able to fix those problems on your own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then about power option, can you please elaborate us more what power option entails and everything that power option has in it?
Power option is a branch that specializes on generation of power, that is from the power plant, the likes of Masinga Dam, geothermal in Naivasha, wind power in Ngong. It focuses on generating electricity from the source. Then from there, there's an organization that is usually responsible for that. In Kenya is KenGen, because you cannot generate your own power in Kenya without the permission from KenGen. So that one is the one that is responsible for all power generated in Kenya. And from KenGen, you go back to Kenya Power. After KenGen have generated their own electricity, they now sell to Kenya Power. Wow. So KenGen, they generate. Kenya Power, they sell. Kenya Power are just retailers. They don't generate power at all. They are just retailers. They buy power from KenGen, then they sell to us, to factories, to local consumers. Then from now, Kenya Power, when they have erected those poles, they have distributed power from up to that end. Now it's my responsibility as someone who has done power option that you can call me, then I come and assess your house. I see what is required, how many things do you require, cables, sockets, so that I can make a quotation for you. Then I tell you this one, for this house to be fully wired, we need this and this. After which, when you are ready, you can call me back. You tell me these things are ready now. You can come. Then I fix. I do for you wiring.
So, what do you consider when you do quotation of maybe a certain house or anything? What do you consider when doing quotation?
What we consider before we do quotation first, we consider the size of the house.
Okay.
We consider the type of wiring system that is required. For example, in wiring, before I do wiring, there are so many types of wiring system.
Wow.
For example, a building like this, you cannot do same wiring that I can go and do in a camp.
Wow.
Yeah. So we consider the type of the house. We consider also customers. We consider the client's capital. If you, for example, if you have enough capital, you'll be able to buy very standard goods, standard appliances, so that we can do wiring for you.
Okay. What are some of the appliances that are needed for installation?
Before, okay, we need something like we need a CCU, consumer control unit. That is a point where when the power from the KPLC now, we tap it from KPLC to that point. It's called consumer control unit. That is where all power. That is where all power in the house starts from there.
Consumer
control unit. That's why we'll find the things like circuit breaker, main switch, everything. It starts from there before we erect them into other parts of the room.
Okay. So, what are some of the safety measures and regulations you put in place so that you ensure that electricians are at very high risk?
Yes.
They are exposed to very dangerous environments. So what are some of the measures that you put in place to ensure that as much as you work, you also prioritize your security and your safety?
For example, it is highlighted in regulations that before you do any form of installation, first of all, you have to be safe. So we put into consideration things like PPE, protective personal equipment.
PPE.
Yes.
PPE.
These are a general term, but now it's among the PPE. These are helmet. You have to put on your helmet so that when you are working at heights or near the falling objects, you cannot be affected. For example, a block can just fall from above and it fall on your head. So if you don't have a helmet, probably you'll be affected.
So helmet, it prevents it
prevents your head from mechanical damage or any form of damage that might be caused from the falling objects. Yeah. We also have some we have earmuffs, for example, those working in construction site where there is so much noise, or in factories. That one prevent your ear, like they filter the amount of noise entering your ear, so it will only allow the minimum possible. We also put on safety boots. Safety boots will prevent.
You know what to wake up.
We also put on safety boots. Safety boots will prevent you from any mechanic or any injury. For example, if a block falls block falls on your leg, we have here on the far end here we have a metal part. This metal part is the one that is responsible in case there is a fall, something falls on your leg. This metal part will not allow that thing to touch your toes. And it also prevents you from shock. You can see. It also prevents you from shock. For example, when you stand on a live wire, you will not be affected.
It also
prevents shock. This part is made of a rubber.
Okay.
Yeah, this rubber. It cannot allow any shock to pass through it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you umesema these are called safety boots.
These are called safety boots.
Okay. Na hizi ni ngumu bwana. These ones you can easily damage someone. Okay.
In most sites you cannot access them without these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what?
Mandatory for you.
Then what is this thing I'm wearing today?
That's what
this thing here?
That's what prevents you from prevents your clothes from becoming dirty.
Okay.
And it's also an inform that when somebody visits a site or a working wherever, he know that this one is a worker of this this site.
Okay.
Yeah. So it distinguishes you from any other person.
Also, if I'm doing this, I just know I'm an electrician. You can call me at your home for
either you are an electrician, you are a plumber, but you are a worker within that.
So this is helmet. This is apron.
Dust coat.
That's this dust coat.
That one is a dust coat. This one is an overall.
Okay.
Yes.
I also have safety boots.
Yes.
Okay. So you said that you work as a repair technician.
Yes.
Where you are currently working?
I'm currently working in a certain manufacturing factory. Yeah. Here.
As a
repair technician.
A repair technician.
Yeah.
So kindly tell us what a repair technician is, what he does, and some of the things that you do at your workplace.
So a repair technician is someone who is mandated to do any form of troubleshooting and analyze that fault and repair. Yeah. For example, when for example, if your phone is faulty, you will come now. My phone is not working. So the first thing I'll do is to check: is it true that this phone is not working? Okay. We check on the reported. What problem did you reported? For example, you can report that it's not powering on. For example, it's not powering on. First of all, I'll try to power it on. Is it true? Now, if it is true, yes. Now, what could be the cause? You start analyzing. You start analyzing what will cause this thing not to shut down. You see. Then after that, you come. Then you can then open and see what exactly has caused that thing not to function the way it's supposed to function. After which, I have to repair that product or that component. Okay. Then I take back to you your product.
Now, since you are doing as a repair technician, what are some of the major or common causes of electrical equipment to shut down?
Most of the equipment that we used before we use for troubleshooting, isn't it? Yeah. So we have this.
I mean, what are some of the problems that customers bring to that cause electronics not to work?
Most of the fault we find it's caused by cockroaches. That's the funny thing about it, especially these electronics.
Cockroaches?
Yes, cockroaches. Okay. When cockroaches get inside this component, inside this unit, you'll find that when it finds its way inside, it start to. They live there, then they start working. For example, they do their daily activity inside there. So when you remember, you don't know when that thing is inside here.
Yeah, true.
So you know, okay, my appliance is just good. Let me power it on. So when you power it on, by bad luck, sometimes it might be there, and it still don't affect it. But by bad luck, you power it on, and that cockroach is inside working. So. This thing is made in such a way that there is so many wires. Circuits and wires within this thing that are naked. They are not insulated inside. Okay. So when that cockroach touches those things, it can, for example, you find this one is a wire, this one is a wire, and it connects the two. So that path will short. Okay. We call in electrical language short. Short. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it usually happens when the two wires are connected, which are not supposed to be connected. They cause a short. That short cannot allow electricity to pass through or to flow through that path. Okay. So hence affecting the functionality of that particular product. So that's one of the problem. Wow. Another problem is usually misuse of those appliances. For example, if they are cooking appliances, you find the spillage of water, spillage of food, such kind of things.
So I have some evil-minded friends. When you say short, they just think of okay. So what?
At some points, those
Yeah.
shorts can also be caused by electricity.
Wow.
Yeah, it can cause by electricity in such a way that when there is a frequent power on and off,
Yeah.
you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that blackout. When that power comes, it comes with something called a surge.
Well, actually, that was my next question.
A surge.
When when you have switched on when there's a blackout,
Yes.
and you don't switch off your electricity, it might come with force.
Yes.
In our language, you call it force, but I know you have your own term.
Yeah, that
How do
term
you
is
call
called
it?
a surge.
A surge.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a surge is basically when the power goes off,
Yeah.
then it comes back. It's that force. It comes with some force before it reaches the last point, then it neutralizes. It stabilizes, I mean.
Okay.
For example, the power was off. The power had gone, isn't it? You are in a blackout.
Yeah.
So when that power will be back,
Yeah.
it will come with a certain force, which we call it a surge. So that force, it will go up to the last point in that circuit.
Yeah.
Then it stabilizes.
Okay.
So when that particular component or appliance, when that particular appliance is on,
Yeah.
it will cause malfunctionality.
Wow.
Because most of these things are designed to work with a voltage of around 240.
Okay.
Yeah, in electricity we have voltage and we have current. Voltage is a force that drives current. So when the voltage surpasses 240, and this thing is rated to work with a voltage of 240, so it will damage it, its functionality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Voltage and current.
Yeah.
So, at which voltage do our bulbs work? Maybe bulbs and everything. Can you just try to estimate?
Most of the appliances in Kenya, I know of Kenya and US, they are different. But most of things we use in Kenya, appliances, definitely they work with a voltage of between 220 to 240 voltage. That's the limit.
Okay.
Or those are the limit within which they work. But in US, they work with a voltage of 110 volts.
As we have 2 and they have 110.
Yes.
Wow.
We have 220 to 240, but for them they have 110. But we'll be surprised how does it happen?
Sure.
But the reason is this: being fact that they use 110 and we use 240, we use the same power. For example, if you hear that this for example this computer uses a power of 100 watts, for them they are using 110 volts, and we are using 220. But at the end of the day, we'll find that this appliance and that one in US, they are using the same power. That if it's 100 watts, it's 100 watts.
So again, you are now going deep and deep: voltage, current, watts. Okay.
Watts and power. Power. So most of these appliances are rated in terms of power.
Okay.
Power.
Yeah.
That's when you hear of 1 kilowatt. My 1 unit, that is power. It's not voltage or current. Okay. But it is that voltage and current that make up power. When they combine together, they make that power.
Wow.
Yeah.
Today I'm learning from the beginning to the end. I don't know what, anyway. So what are some of the basic equipment that you use while at work?
While at work, most equipment we use is this thing called a digital multimeter.
It's called?
Digital multimeter.
Yeah.
This is a digital multimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Digital multimeter.
Digital multimeter.
Tell us more about the digital multimeter.
With this digital multimeter, for example, you can be able to know when you have power, you don't have power, something is faulty, something is not faulty, something is working at the required condition. With this thing, actually is the major one.
Wow.
With repairs of electronic products.
Yeah. So how does it work? Just majorly, just tell us just a little bit how it works.
For example, you may want to that story of how can I know I have 240 voltage?
Yeah.
How can I know?
Yeah.
I think that's the question you're asking.
Yeah, exactly.
But with this thing, you can be able to know what is my supply voltage. Because for that to 40, there is also a voltage drop. For example, there is a permitted voltage drop from KPLC. Of course, you don't get that exact to 40, but you are around to 35 something. So with this multimeter, you can be able to know how many voltage am I receiving in my house? But of course, it's almost the same in all houses. But voltages are affected by so many factors. For example, those wires or the wire that might be coming in your house might have high resistance. It's also another term.
Yes, another term.
Resistance.
High resistance.
Yeah, resistance is the opposition to the flow of current. Like the term itself, it suggests resistance, to resist. Now, when that current is moving now from that pulse of KPLC to your house, along the way it might find resistance. So when it finds that resistance, it means that now that is opposition. It's opposing. It wants to come in, but you're opposing not to come in. So in that process, you will find that what you are receiving is not what you are supposed to receive. Why? Because of that resistance between the Kenya Power intake point to your house.
Wow.
Yeah, resistance.
But I thought this one is a radio.
That one is not a radio. That one is a digital multimeter. You can measure voltage, you can measure current, you can measure that resistance, and you can know everything when you have
My fellow journalists, this is not a radio. This is a multimeter.
Digital multimeter.
Okay.
We have a plain multimeter. That one is analog, but mostly we'll find this digital one multimeter because it gives digital information.
This is digital multimeter.
Yeah.
This is. So apart from digital multimeter, what other equipment do you use?
We have things like tester. Tester is that a small tool that you can test whether you have power in your house or not. When you have electricity, for example, a bulb might blow off, and you think that now, I don't have power in my house. But with that tester, you can go to your socket and you can test. And if there's power, you'll see something, a red, a light. There's a certain light that is usually exhibited here when you test. That one is used to test when the availability of power. That's its function. We also have screwdrivers. Like we have star, depending with the type of screws used to.
Of course, a screwdriver
to assemble that unit. We have star, we have flat screwdrivers. We also have pliers, pliers.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Stanley Media. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us in all our social media platforms at Stanley Media 254. Today, we are having an interview about electrical and electronic engineering, and I think you have an humble environment to learn more about electrical engineering.